Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 2 of Gaming Nonsense. I'm one of your hosts, Teddy Kosick. My co-host with me, Mr. Avery Fair.
How we doing?
Doing all right, man. How are you doing?
It's 85 degrees in my room right now, so I'm sweating.
Yeah, so we're gonna drag this one out 2-3 hours. really make you feel it, man. That Arizona heat's just crushing us right now. Hey, so we got a bit of a different episode we're going to run through this time. Last episode, episode 1, we kind of covered broad gaming news, E3 recap, all that kind of good stuff. There's a lot of stuff happening in the industry. This time around, we don't really have too much news last week and a half, to be honest. So we thought we'd dive into the game we're both playing the most by far right now, that being Overwatch. So, disclaimer, Overwatch for the next 25 minutes. If you're not into that, probably peace on out of here right now and come back next time. Otherwise, hopefully you'll stick around. We got a pretty good lineup of things to talk about, just kind of our background on the game, our favorite heroes, maps, what we dislike about the game, and we're going to get into a few specific topics which we're not the biggest fans of later on in the episode, and end off with a clip of the week, which we're going to try to start doing. So hopefully that'll be good. So I think we'll go ahead and start off. Let's go ahead and start. So we obviously play together a lot, but when did you start playing the game? Current SR, kind of the background info for anybody that doesn't know how much you play.
Well, I guess because Overwatch came out last May, I believe, and so one of our buddies told me to he really wanted me to pick it up. It didn't really have an appeal for me because it looked like a lot of people compare it to Team Fortress 2, yep. And I did have that part of that orange box deal, one of the best deals ever, but I wasn't into Team Fortress 2 that much, so I was pretty skeptical when I picked up Overwatch. But it was great. I played it from about then on to probably sometime in the fall, and then I skipped out on some of the events and Christmas and everything like that. But picked it back up around the new year, and so just been spending a lot of time doing that. Right now, I'm kind of stuck in this 2700 purgatory right now.
That's right, man.
Good thing is I got out of purgatory, but the bad news is I'm now in the 2600s. So it's like I'm just going the opposite way, and I don't really see myself ever hitting diamond in the near future.
Yeah, not like he's bitter or anything, but we played for a while last night, and I wouldn't say it was the most successful of nights we've ever had.
It's just very frustrating. It's a very frustrating, probably the most frustrating game I've played.
Yeah, man, a lot of these comp games are the same way, but I feel you. I started playing a hell of a lot later than you did because I didn't pick it up. Another disclaimer: we both play on PS4, not Master Race PC, right. So keep that in mind throughout this episode. It's going to be, obviously it's the same game, but some of our comments are pretty tailored toward console, and you'll know what those are when we get to them. But yeah, so I didn't pick up my PS4 actually until last fall, so I picked up the game then, probably September timeframe. I remember playing with you and a couple of our buddies, your roommates, for a couple months or maybe a month or two. And then in November is when COD Remastered came out. Right. And that kind of took over because I had so much nostalgia back. We always used to play together in high school, and we had the same group of friends still. So I only played for those couple months, which really was just getting me through level 25. And then I picked it back up, like you were saying, in the new year. Started playing comp. I guess then when we started out in comp, I was gold, like middle gold was my first placement. And now I broke that crest into diamond. So I'm sitting, I think, just below 3,100 right now. I know. It feels pretty good. So, I hear you, though. That platinum struggle in the 26, 27, 28, just the SR ups and downs are real, man.
Yeah, it is very tough. But, I guess we've played it enough where, we now have, our quote-unquote mains and heroes we tend to avoid. So, in your time of playing, who do you typically insta-lock, or what's your role?
Yeah, so it's changed with the meta for sure, and a lot of it happens to be with who I'm playing with. So for example, when we're playing and we have the full 6 squad with the rest of your roommates in, I normally stick on DPS, play soldier. Just like the constant DPS is so good right now, especially people playing Reinhardt or Winston or whatever. And as our friend Avery would say, just charging up your ults off of Roadhog right now. So Soldier's pretty good because he can charge pretty quickly off some of those big tanks that are being played. I didn't really play that much Soldier though until a month ago or so. I feel like up until then it was a lot of tanks, like a lot of I used to play a ton of Roadhog. And now it's mostly like Soldier, Diva, and then a couple healers. Lucio, Mercy is kind of the situation depending on what we need.
Right.
And yours is a little bit different in terms of your mains.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I have my DPS main. I have my girl Farah.
For sure.
I still think she's, great, especially when you have the attached Mercy, codename Pharmacy. You get to fly around and just, rain hell upon people with the rockets. And then I do love to play Reinhardt.
Yep.
You just hold down that RT and just swing away. Swing.
Yeah, man.
And it's, he's a great one. I got the golden hammer for him. I assume after this season, when I get, those purple points, I'll get the golden rockets for Farah.
Yeah.
And then other than those two, I mean, I can obviously play, support with Mercy, or I love playing Zenyatta. He's a great, attacking, offensive support where you can throw those discords and also, help people get more damage on the enemy team. But other than that, like you were saying, it just comes down to the team comp at the end of the day. I'm pretty flexible on who we're going to play with because, I mean, you know that when we don't play a 6-man squad, people just insta-lock DPS, and that's one of the most frustrating things. So you just got to...
That's what I was going to say. I mean, some of these other people are just so... you're just saying you're flexible. Some of these kids literally will never switch off. No matter what you do. You're just fucked. They're going to be playing... They're going to insta-lock a Tracer or a Widow or a Hanzo, and they're playing that no matter what map, no matter attacking, defending. You're just kind of stuck.
Right. Well, speaking of Hanzo now, I mean, his scatter shot...
Dude, scatter shot's OP. I remember, I think last night, I got 100 to 0 2 or 3 times on Soldier, just turning the corner, didn't even see the dude, and just annihilated, absolutely annihilated.
And it's ridiculous. I mean, I understand, headshots are going to have more damage than body shots, but I mean, the scatter shot, you don't have to hit them directly. You just fire it in a random, corridor, and you just, and so, that's someone where, if you're able to main Hanzo right now, while, he's pretty unbalanced, you might as well take advantage of that and start lighting people up.
Yeah, because it always used to be, you see a Hanzo lock, and even a month ago, I don't know if they buffed him or what. I'd have to go back and look at the patch notes. I don't know what happened, but even a month ago, you see a Hanzo, and you're like, dear God, please just switch off Hanzo, whatever. And now it's not necessarily like you're upset about it because it's just so strong, man.
I'm more upset when the enemy has a Hanzo than if we have a Hanzo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's pretty OP right now. I don't know who else is super strong at the moment. I mean, McCree got recent buffs. His ult timer's a lot less to charge up his ult.
Reaper's latest buff is pretty OP. With them taking away the orbs and just getting now I think it's 20% heal
20%
with
off of every shot.
Yeah, and it's just, I mean, if you have a good Reaper either on your team or you're playing against, I mean, you're going to be either very frustrated or very happy because it's already very difficult to kind of kill a Reaper.
Yeah.
But now, I mean, because he just melts tanks, and then if he's just getting health automatically with every shot he lands, then it's going to be pretty difficult to take him down.
Yep. No, absolutely. Super strong. I think probably 80 or 90% of the games now you're seeing a Reaper, whereas it didn't used to be that way necessarily. That's kind of the only bummer right now is I feel like it's always Soldier, Reaper, maybe McCree here and there, or Genji here and there. I don't know. I'd like to see that switched up a little bit, but what are you going to do? I mean, on the flip side, I mentioned it a little bit earlier, heroes that might not be quite as OP, I would call the shit tier bucket list heroes. The easy one right now is Roadhog after his buff, or after his nerf. Your hook shot combo is just not there anymore.
Right, you can't get those hook one shot kills on the squishies, Soldier, Tracer. I mean, sometimes you might get lucky if you get, a headshot on him. Sure, you could take him down, but overall he's literally unplayable. I mean, you have people like you were talking about earlier, our buddy, if he sees a Roadhog, he's just saying, all right, time to charge your ult, because he's just a walking meat shield.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I see what they try to do, try to eliminate just every squishy always getting just instantly hooked and then shot.
Right. And I mean,
they try to compensate. Yeah, they try to compensate with giving him more bullets in his gun, and I think the shoot rate is faster now too. But just like the combo and the overall effectiveness of him being a team comp isn't quite there as much anymore. So.
Right.
The only other person that I'd like to see buffed, which isn't, I don't want to say she's bad right now, but Anna I like playing a lot, and maybe it's a console thing where precision accuracy shooting on console might be a little bit harder than playing on PC when you have a mouse and keyboard. But especially trying to heal people, healing a Pharah that's flying around or healing whoever,
a Genji
or a Genji or whatever. It's a little bit challenging, even though she's super fun to play and her grenade is really good.
Right.
So I'd like to see something help her out. I don't know what it is though, really.
Instead of just having your teammates just spam you with "I need healing," messages. Where it's like, I understand that, but you're either completely away from me or I can't really get you any heals. So, and I mean, I actually did finally play Anna once, in a game I think we were playing last night, and she's actually she's pretty fun, and fun. I think you're right, because that same situation happened to me where one of our teammates were asking for heals and I can't shoot you. It was a Winston, and I was healing him, and then we got melted, so it's whatever. But yeah, that's something where I would like to see Anna either get changed up or something like that.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, I mean, flip side of the game, you have your heroes. The other component, obviously, are the maps that you're playing. I don't think you mentioned it. What's your, favorite or least favorite map to play on?
My favorite map by far is Ilios.
Ilios
and
fun.
Unfortunately, it's a map that I don't really get to play a whole lot. I don't know how the maps, divvy up, but Ilios is one that I like because most of the maps they'll have, when it's the point take, they'll have the different locations, and I think Ilios's 3 locations I think are all very good. You have that one with the center hole thing where you can do Lucio boops or the Roadhog hooks-ins, the Pharah boops. Other than that, I mean, you have the lighthouse where you have all those places where you can just knock people off, off the sides. And so I think those are very interesting of trying to have you can change up the team comp a lot with that and be creative.
Yeah, it's normally all the maps in general where there's environmental kill opportunities are pretty fun in general. And that's a huge map for that. I mean, you're talking about that center pit, and then that other point you mentioned, 3/4 around the point is just straight off into the abyss. So,
right.
Yeah, it's a good map. It's fun. And the art design on that map in particular I like too. It's really nice. What about least favorite?
I hate Hanamura. It's not that
the easy choice, huh?
It's not even I dislike it or I prefer it. I prefer others more than I absolutely despise Hanamura. Not only is the first point sometimes kind of difficult to hold. I mean, if you can hold that choke point with the by the doors, and especially if you get a teleporter with Symmetra down, I mean that's risky. But if you get that down, it's tough to get that point. But even if you were to get it, that second point is probably the hardest thing to get. In that game, because I mean it's 20 feet from spawn, 10 to 20 feet, and you're already in the point defending again, so you have to get either a full team kill or just get a team kill enough where they're staggering out and you get them one by one and make sure the Mercy doesn't res.
No, exactly. It's kind of I share the same exact opinions. It's kind of like the new map in terms of the second point, the relation from where you spawn to where the actual point itself is. Was it a Horizon Lunar Colony?
Yep.
Where even if you die, you're going to take I don't know. What's the death? Does death counters 4 or 5 seconds maybe?
Yeah.
And you're going to respawn, and even if you're playing a Roadhog or somebody just fucking chunking on in there, you're going to be there within 10 seconds of dying. It's not a long time, especially if you got 2 or 3 or 4 teammates still up. So it's super frustrating. It's one of those where if you get it, I wouldn't say you've won the game, but more likely than not, you're probably going to win the game.
Right.
So I'm totally with you. I think favorite-wise, Ilios is really solid. I might have to agree with you, to be honest. Same with Hanamura. And maybe that's because we play together so much. So we have the same opinions of the maps.
And it just sucks. I mean, I feel like I get Hanamura a lot more than Ilios, so maybe that's why most of the time I play I'm frustrated.
Yeah, the only other map that I'd throw out there that I like for sure is Dorado. it's a fun map in terms of like the verticality of it and being able
Right.
to go down the main road, and then there's a couple points, there's bridges or platforms up top. Playing like a diva or something is pretty fun. Just kind of flying around and hacking people up. So
Right.
I'll definitely put Dorado in that bucket also. Cool. Well, I think that's a lot about who we play and characters we like and dislike for the most part. There's a bit of Overwatch news from the last week that we can throw in there as our little news segment. I think you're going to lead us through it, but it was the final formal announcement of Doomfist, going to be the 25th hero.
Yeah, Blizzard finally released information about Doomfist. He's kind of been in the background. You've seen some things, in game that's kind of hinted at him, and they released this pretty cool origin video,
Yeah, awesome.
that anime thing, and so I actually hope they do a lot more of that stuff.
Yeah, that's really
but in that video, he almost looks like he'd be a tank because he's just super buff. He was just going toe to toe with Winston. He was fucking up that Tracer and messed with the Genji too. But we watch him in gameplay, he's actually DPS. He only has about 250 health. He has a wide variety of different moves, and that's going to make him very versatile out there. He has on his left hand, he has a sort of like shotgun pump hand cannon, and that I think has like 4 shots with that, and so that's
I've got the stats up over here. Let's see. 6 shots, I believe. Oh no, 4 shots. I'm sorry. Ammo's 4 shots. You're right.
Yeah, so he has that for a long range. But not only that, I mean, obviously everyone has a just default melee attack, but his is, I think more precise or just overall better because he can either do a rising uppercut that just launches enemies in front of him into the air. He can also leap forward and slam the ground, knocking nearby enemies toward him. So, I mean, you could probably combo, the seismic slam, which is the, leaping forward and smashing the ground, plus the uppercut, and you just go boom, boom. And so that's probably a good, combo to do. And then not only that, he also has a rocket punch, which you can charge up and basically just with your, Doomfist, you charge up and then lunge forward with your fist, and that would knock enemies back. And so he has ways to either bring them in or knock them back.
Yeah, the combo potential seems pretty strong. The rocket punch also, the kind of rocket punch inward, that goes through barriers, so thinking like Reinhardt's shield goes straight through that. It'll be interesting. He's gonna be able to get back in there into the squishies of these teams and just kind of rain hell. But like you said, he's an offensive hero, so it's not like he's gonna be charging in there with 400 or 500 health. If he's gonna fly into the team, he's gonna get chunked out pretty quickly. Except for they helped him out a little bit with a passive, which is kind of a shield situation.
Right.
Let me see what it's called here. It's called the best defense. All right, that's fair enough. And let me read it out here. So in terms of the health, it's 30 plus barriers per enemy hit with any of his 3 abilities, or 75 increase to his barrier if he hits an enemy with his ultimate. And it has a maximum potential of 150 in terms of the barrier around him. So that can take his health up from 250 to 400 total health.
Right. So then theoretically, you can get max shield barrier to go to 400. Plus, if you have a Symmetra on your team, you get shields from that. Plus, if she has a shield generator, you get stuff from that. Then, if you have a Torbjorn, you can have armor from that.
Armor. Yep.
And then, I mean, if you have like a Zarya or something, you get bubbled for that, you'll never die.
SGG, just play around the Doomfist.
You just made a DPS into a tank. Yeah. There you go.
He's gonna. I mean, that's kind of the general layout. The only other thing that we didn't talk about is his ult yet, which is pretty sick.
I mean,
I don't know what the name of it is. Let me see.
It's Meteor Strike.
Strike.
He would essentially leap up into the air, and then there's this giant ridicule where he would slam. It's almost if you were playing Gears of War and had the Hammer of Dawn, where you could see where the rays coming down.
Yep.
So he would basically disappear from the map, and then he would come slamming down, and then that would just deal damage to people that were in that ridicule.
Yeah, and it's kind of a 2-layered situation. So an inner circle and then an outer circle. Inner circle being 300 damage to any enemy that's hit within that inner circle, and then as it goes outward, once you're in that second ring, it's anywhere from 300 obviously towards the center out to 0, and it just kind of, I guess it doesn't really say, I would assume it just kind of changes depending on how far out the enemy is. That's a lot of damage, though. I mean, think all the DPS off the top of my head are, 200, 250, so that's
Right.
one shot to any of them.
I was just going to think, that's another thing where you can combo with a Zarya ult because you can just get them all together. But I wonder if, and I haven't seen any gameplay with this, but I wonder if the enemy team can see where the ridicule is going to be. Like if they're going to be able to see where it is so they can run away from it or not. But I mean,
I'm not sure. The only clip I've seen,
I've only seen people play as him and not the other side, and so I think that's just something that you have to kind of look to see once he's available.
Yeah, I would say we go test him out, but hey, then again, PS4 no test server. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, and one more thing with that ult is that it's a pretty large area of real estate he can cover. I mean, it's probably about 80% of a payload point.
Yeah.
Say on Hollywood, where that first point where the payload is, it covers a good chunk of that. So if you have people, kind of crashing that payload, you drop in a Doomfist ult, it's gonna do some damage.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They're definitely still tweaking him, I can tell, though, just because I know even since he went out on the test server, he's gotten nerfed a little bit, I think, in terms of his kind of rocket punch. Yeah, it was, I think the max range before was 30 meters, and it's already been brought down to 23, so it almost hacked a third of that distance off. So they're definitely still tweaking with him, and I don't know, we were talking about this offline a little bit earlier, I don't know when they're going to release him. We'd expect it to probably be after the season's over.
Yeah, I don't
because they don't want to throw him in there because he's going to for sure change up the way the game is played in terms of team comps. So,
right.
I don't know. We'll have to see what happens, but I'm sure there'll be more to come as it gets closer to his release, and we'll just have to stay posted. So I think that's it for Doomfist. The last part here, really, of the episode, we want to talk about a couple things that are near and dear to our heart in terms of things that we absolutely cannot stand about this video game. And there's a couple pretty big topics. The first one we're going to talk about is a specific console issue that we have. So, again, remember, we play on console. Can you imagine not being able to report a player? Oh, well, we play on console, so you can't.
I feel as though, I'm not like a person who would just report just everybody, but I honestly think there's an average of at least one person every game that I want to report. Dude. Just because I've never encountered so many people that try and throw games, so many people that just straight up do not like switch off heroes, and if they're bad, then they just keep on being shitty. Like, if you're being bad with the character, switch, do something else. I mean, it's not working. If someone has a counter against you, then stop playing that person. But
yeah, I mean, I can not even count on two hands. It's more than that. The amount of people I see intentionally throwing games just because. I don't know if it's because they can't make a new PSN and just get a lower SR. They want to play with their friends at a lower SR. Or I don't know what the deal is, but it's pretty regularly in the Platinum. Definitely in Platinum. And even still now, just barely into Diamond. A ton of kids just, running to the new base and standing there and letting them kill them like over and over and over again for no reason. And there's nothing we can do about it. Absolutely nothing.
Well, there was one thing I tried to do about it, is that I tried to tweet at Overwatch and Blizzard customer service, and they did answer. They sent me a link to a forum. Apparently, Jeff, the game director, answered because someone asked about the lack of report system, and he said, quote, "This feature is coming to both PS4 and Xbox. I don't have an exact ETA because there are many moving parts to make this happen. My hope is that everything locks into place before summer or sooner, but we're at the mercy of things beyond our control on this one, and we've been working super hard to make it happen." Now,
I'm looking at this, summer or sooner. It's not summer or sooner anymore.
This post was from January 21st, and we are now in July.
Yeah.
I asked Blizzard if there was any update with this. They said there is none. So, I mean, it's unfathomable to me that a game can be out for more than a year and there is no specific, report system for that. I mean, we've both tried to do it over PlayStation itself, the console, but it just kicks you back to the game unless you just make up some, erroneous reason for it. Like, I mean, I think one time I said, someone's name was inappropriate. Yeah. And so just to do it for the sake of, porting, because it's just ridiculous how it can be out this long for that.
Yeah, I mean, reporting that one makes you feel better, but let's be honest, PlayStation's never going to do anything about it.
Absolutely
they couldn't be bothered, so.
Right.
we're just kind of at the mercy of Blizzard figuring out and implementing it. Hopefully they do it sooner rather than later.
And that's why it's so important to try and have a 5 or 6 man team, because there's even times where we run 4-man teams and that's more than 50% of the team, and we still get stuck with that 1 or 2 people where it's just like it ruins the game.
Yep, absolutely. So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully, maybe in the next developer update, Jeff will surprise us and there'll be some big news there. But we'll have to see. The next one is just our. I don't know if we're dumb or what, but just not being able to understand how the SR gain and losses work. Something I've struggled with, maybe losing a game and getting hacked down 28 SR, winning the next game about the same level and getting 18 points. It just doesn't make sense. It's so hard to consistently go up the ladder when you're just losing a game and getting hacked down so much further than you are when you're winning. I just don't think there's any like real intelligence like that's been published so people know how it works. It's just all, I guess,
at least I would feel fine if they released a statement that said, "Hey guys, we understand the SR may be a bit frustrating, but you're not supposed to be able to just climb up to the top 500. It's supposed to be
that for sure."
And but it's like but it is frustrating where, like you're saying, I mean, you basically play with the same ranked people. You win a game and get 17 to 20 points, and then you lose a game and you lose 25-28, and so you have to win 2 games just to sort of get a positive on that. And even then it's a positive 3 or 5 points maybe. And it's like, I understand that online games you have to be consistent with your winning. You can't just win lose, but it's frustrating.
Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? I just wish I understood a little bit better. And the other thing is the penalties. In terms of, this happened to both of us, or at least happened to me, in terms of if maybe your friend starts a game that you're queued up with and you aren't back in time. Not saying that happened to me recently, but it definitely happened to me recently. And I was gone for 3 minutes, queued it up. I just didn't get back quite in time, and I lost 70 SR because I wasn't there at the start of the game. Like, I get there's got to be a punishment, right? People just can't be leaving and not joining games all the time. But 70 SR takes so long to gain.
And you were, you suspended for 10 minutes?
And I was suspended for 10 or 15 minutes, yeah. I totally get that. That's fine. But 70 just seems like a bit of a harsh punishment for that being the first time it's ever happened.
That's 3 wins.
That's 3 W's for sure. That's an hour's worth of wins.
That might be more. That's 25 points a win. And that's a high SR gain if you win against 5 points.
Yeah, so that's frustrating as hell too. But
yeah, same thing happened to one of the roommates here, is that they were in a game and the PSN went down. So it's not like he wasn't in the game, like he was playing the game and the internet dropped and he lost 50 points and was also banned for 5 minutes or so. And so then that also happened with Avery, both of them. And remember, he hit, like he was about to hit diamond or maybe just hit it, then he got dropped 50 points. And it's like, I mean, I understand.
I can't remember if it was the game right before he hit diamond or right after he hit it, but he just got DC'd and dropped 50 points.
Right. And so, I mean, SR in general, it needs to be addressed somehow, or at least explained better.
Yeah, I'm not saying that it's wrong necessarily. I just wish I understood it better is all. So.
Right.
And the last thing, which I know they're going to fix, it was in a recent developer update, is just the amount of just absolute shit you get in loot boxes. Gray, blue, 20 times in a row before you get a purple or a yellow, a legendary or anything. It's just, I think it was Jeff in the last developer update, so they're going to fix that across all platforms.
Good.
To try to reduce the amount of duplicates that people are getting, and I think give you a little bit more reward out of those loot boxes.
Good.
I don't know when that's going to happen. We'll have to see.
Because I remember when I first started playing Overwatch, because you have the levels 1 to 100, and then you prestige, and so in the first prestige, obviously the amount of XP needed to get another loot box or increased level would increase also.
Sure.
But now they changed it where after you prestige and you go back to 1, it's now 20,000 XP to raise a level, unlike restarting again and having 1,000, 2,000. And so, I mean, last night we played for 3 or 4 hours, and I think I got think I got 2 or 3 loot boxes last night, and I didn't get a single purple. One of the loot boxes, I got 3 grays and a blue. Yeah. Every single one of them was a duplicate. Oh no, it was 3 duplicates and currency.
Yeah,
that's what it was. Granted, I mean, I'll take the currency. I can buy, a legendary skin now or whatever. But
it takes a long time to build up that currency, though.
Right, and it's just like, what's the point of having the loot boxes? I know you can buy them, offhand, just crank out, $50 for 100 of them or something. But I mean, what the hell? Why do you want to do that?
Yeah, let's be honest. I'm not going to do that. So hopefully they fix that, and I can give me a hell of a lot more coins much quicker, or reduce the duplicates or something. We'll see.
Because I think you can only do so much with just cosmetic, rewards for a game.
For sure.
It's just, I understand they're all free and everything, which is good, but I mean, some of the skins suck, and it's like, at least throw us a bone with those loot boxes.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, I think that's most of what we wanted to cover Overwatch-wise, considering this is the game we're definitely playing the most right now. I mean, that's just kind of a general what we're playing, how we feel about it. I mean, it's a fun game. We put a lot of time into it, so obviously we don't hate it. We wouldn't be playing it if we hated it, so we got that going for us. I think what we're going to do is this week, and probably hopefully every week going forward, we're going to try to throw in some sort of a clip from one of our streams or just something we recorded that we were playing the last week or two. So this week, we have a clip brought to you by my stream. It is a game, I'll set the scene here a little bit. It's a game on Hanamura. We're defending the second point, the one that's really hard to overtake if you're attacking. And I think there's a whole bunch of ults stacked up on both sides of the team. And some good and maybe not so good. You'll have to see. Plays take fold, and we'll let you guys be the judge. So let's go ahead and load that up and get it on in here.
You can't have 7 ults.
So I think we're just.
I'm coming behind.
Yeah, I'll let it play out a little bit here, but you're about to see the fight go down.
I'm dead. Fucking things.
You're really peppering them up there.
Just going in.
That
was a good mail too.
I died.
We did it. GG.
No more ults, obviously. We still.
Team kill. Whoa. What?
Why?
Oh god.
What is that?
Okay. All right.
It doesn't matter. Oh my god.
Wow, so I just realized that there was, after rewatching this for, I don't know, the 7th time now, I just realized that I thought that was at the very end of the game. There was still 2 minutes left.
I know. It was not even close to the end.
Oh.
I just love the fact that I have the sense of mind to when he gets that triple res off for absolutely no reason. That mini diva's shooting at me, and I don't even care. I just turn around to see what is happening with my team.
Yo, that mini diva was about to fuck us up. So
dude, she was about to go in. If that mini diva would have killed us, you're right. That was a good res. I'll take that. And
wow, that's funny. I didn't realize there was still 2 minutes left. Man, that could have really fucked us.
I can't remember. That was a week ago, probably. I can't remember if we won or lost that game. I'm hoping we won.
We won. Yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
We would have raged a lot harder if we wasted the triple res like that. We absolutely won that game.
Would have raged way harder. So hopefully we'll have some more clips, good and bad. Not always going to be bad, hopefully. But I think that's it for this week. Unless you got anything else going on, we can go ahead and close it out.
That'll do it. I mean, I just watched Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Wrote up my review, coffeescorner.com. Check it out. It was very well done. Just a couple things here or there that it's not really fixable. I mean, it had to be done. So just being nitpicky, but it was all right. Gave it an 8.75. So you want to check out that, but make sure you check that out in theaters.
Cool. Yeah, I gotta go see that. I haven't seen it yet. I'm falling behind a little bit on the movie train right now, so I gotta get out there. I think that's it. I don't really got anything going on. I'll just be hanging out. Hopefully, be streaming more on Twitch the next week or two before the next episode comes out. Probably episode 3. I mean, depends how the news is going, but we're targeting every 2 weeks. So sometime in the next 2 weeks, episode 3 will be coming out. The only thing I want to do is shout out Mr. Damon Hatfield, letting us use his music. He let us use it in episode 1 also. You can check him out. He's on a lot of the IGN podcasts and shows, things like Game Scoop, which I know you and I both watch. So definitely check him out. His music's pretty solid. There's a link down below in the description. Other than that, I think we're good. So we will catch you guys next time. Thanks for hanging out. Episode 2, Gaming Nonsense. We are out. Peace.